We are back with another field test video / comparison between a 7-speed fairway driver and a 9-speed. Now these two discs are pretty new to me already, so I wanted to come out here and test them out a little bit more anyway. But as I was looking at the flight numbers, they're semi-similar. We have the Falk and the Titanium from Loft. The Falk is 9.6 -2.1 and the Titanium is 7.5 -2.1. Other than the 9-speed having a little thicker of a rim, I feel like they might fly very similar. I don't know if there'll be a huge variation between the distances either. So if you guys have pros and cons between, you know, a 9-speed and a 7-speed, let me know down in the comments because I would like to understand a little bit more. But maybe we'll figure some things out through this video. We'll start with the Falk, throw these both on hyzers, see how they flip up. Little high, flips up to flat though. I wish I got that a little bit lower. That height will take away from some of its flippiness. Here's the Titanium. A little bit better. Almost started to want to turn, but got all the way to flat. What I found the other day was when I threw the Titanium a bit smoother on hyzer, I would just get these very consistent straight flights. Once I started to put a little bit more power on it, that's when I felt like I was more inconsistent and I wasn't sure how the disc was going to fly. I'm gonna get these distances just so you guys have an idea of how hard I, threw them. But truthfully, I didn't throw them very hard and we still got a nice flip up out of them. Went dead straight, no turn out of them that time, but again, we did not throw those hard at all. First throw with the Titanium, 301 feet. And then the 9-speed Falk did go a bit further, or a little further at least. Not by a lot, but 317 feet. So let's try to give those a little bit more power down there. Still on hyzer. I have felt a slight headwind down here a couple of times, but it's nothing drastic. I don't think it'll change the flight of these discs too much, if any. Starting with the Falk again, like I said, just gonna try to throw it a little bit harder. Man, I threw it high again. It wants to start turning, but I'm throwing them too high to get the turn. That was high too, but we're getting the turn out of it. Of course, the wind picks up a little bit more now that I said it wouldn't affect them. But 305 with the Titanium and then 330 with the Falk that time. I cannot leave you with that. I can't leave myself with those throws. There we go, that's better. We get the hyzer flip, little turn. I thought I'd be able to push these further and I'm not right now. Maybe because there is a little bit of a wind out there. But that time the Falk actually turned a little off of hyzer. Oh, there we go. Wow, that's really flippy then. That was the Titanium and that just held over the whole time. That was interesting. First time we've gotten that out of it. All right, I know what I said, guys. The wind shouldn't affect us that much. Well, it's starting to pick up a little bit more down there. So I've tried to position myself more into the tailwind, which will be a helping wind. If it does anything, it should stable these up just slightly, but I'm sure we'll still see some flips. So I'm gonna throw maybe 1 or 2 more hyzer flips, and then I'll try to throw some flatter shots and just kind of see what distances we can get. The Falk keeps going a little bit further than the Titanium, but we'll see what happens now that we got a little bit better of a wind. My car's about 440 feet down there. Hopefully we don't get a hold of one and just smoke it, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Oh, that is so good. The Falk just flips up straight to flat, just kind of like what we saw over there when I threw it a bit softer, but I threw that one pretty hard. We'll see kind of where that one ended up. The Titanium, probably a little bit more hyzer. It was working to flat. Still think it's pretty glidey. I bet those landed in pretty similar spots. These landed literally right next to each other. 362 feet with the Titanium. Thank you, Tailwind. We're now finally getting some good flights. And the Falk, it got all the way to flat. It went a little bit further, 366. That makes sense. I'll try to throw a little less hyzer this time. I know with the Titanium, I put it on quite a bit of hyzer. The Falk, I put it on enough hyzer for it to flip to flat, but not really turn. Still a laser beam. Wow. Super glidey too. Oh, there's a subtle drift out of the Titanium. That was really nice. That was pretty straight. Not straight like the Falk. The Falk just flipped up, didn't really budge to the right. The Titanium though kind of flipped up, started drifting a little before fading. So about the same out of the Falk that time, about 364 on an absolute rope. The titanium had that subtle drift, but I only threw it 340. I'll try to get them out flat this time and see if we can get that turn out of them. Hopefully you guys can see the discs in that sky. That's the reason I like throwing from that goalpost so much, because of the background with the woods, it's easier to see the disc in. If I throw these too high, it's probably really hard to see the disc. Oh baby, yep, see ya. Oh my goodness. Can you see that or not? Way right. How am I getting such a straight flight out of that one this time? I'm getting confused. Had to rewatch it back. Came out on a little hyzer. That's why I went so straight. There we go, that's better. I feel like we saw that -2 that time. Very subtle drift to the right. That's still coming out on a little hyzer. There's a subtle turn in there, but not a lot. And I think it's just because I keep putting it out on a baby hyzer, so it just flips up to flat and wants to stay flat. The titanium, 368 feet. I think that's our furthest throw with it yet. This should be a little bit further than that. And I gotta say, the Falk has been going further than the 7-speed about every time. 379 feet, almost 380. I'm gonna go ahead and throw one more max distance shot, see what we can get out of these two discs. Honestly, it's been a pretty confusing day for me between them. I think the wind has a lot to do with that. Originally, I didn't think it was very windy, and then throughout the video, it kind of picked up a little bit more. Then we turned into the tailwind, and I think I've been getting decent flights out of them, pretty straight hyzer flip shots. The Falk thrown flat, got that nice turn. For whatever reason, it seems like I can't get the titanium out flat, which is annoying me kind of a lot. But yeah, one more, see what they do. Full power, probably a little bit of hyzer, see if we can get a nice little turn. Hopefully we can push 380 again. Oh, I think that's gonna be good. At least in a tailwind, it seems like the Falk, you can throw it as hard as I can, I guess. Maybe not as hard as you guys can, but I can throw it as hard as I can, and it just flips up to flat, doesn't turn. Now, in other winds, that's probably not the case, but with the tailwind, it just flips up to flat and goes dead straight. And so, the same with the titanium. I want to keep calling it the loft, but it's the titanium. Both of those flew almost identical, I felt like. Nice hyzer flip to flat. They went dead straight. They didn't really want to turn at all, which was really cool. That might have been my most consistent shot of the day. Now the titanium, the 7-speed, again coming up short of the Falk, which I think has been pretty consistent today. 346. I really thought we put a better move on it than that, but that means this is probably close to 380 again. 372, so not quite in the 380s. But again, further than the titanium. So off of this small sample size, I feel like both of these want to hyzer flip very nicely. It's a little bit easier just to throw the titanium nice and smooth to get that hyzer flip, get that straight shot. With the Falk, I felt a little bit more confident putting some more power on it. With that being said, it's not like the titanium really let me down. I just felt better with the 9-speed. There had been quite a few suggestions to compare the Falk to a few other discs. Unfortunately, I didn't have any of them just quite yet. I'll try to get my hands on them to do those videos. So I didn't forget about you. I just didn't have the discs yet. Anyway, guys, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you on the next one.